Yeah, everything around me.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Coach Tatum here, and today I'm here with Joe. It's Davidyock,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Got
Yep.
it. Awesome. So it's Joe Davidyock, and so I'm glad I've been saying it right to everybody, but I've been talking. But he's the new head football coach at RJ Reynolds High School in Winston-Salem, here in North Carolina. Gracious, come on here and talk to me a little bit about him and his program as he sees it going into the summer. Coach, appreciate you being on here.
I appreciate you having me. I've enjoyed watching your first couple episodes with a couple other coaches you've had on here, and I've been following you for a little while now in your career, so I'm excited to get to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing here.
Awesome. So, talk to us a little bit about who you are. Who is Joe Davidyock, and where you've been coaching, and all the way to lead up to RJ Reynolds.
Yeah. So I'm originally from New Jersey. I grew up in Toms River, and I got a twin brother and two older sisters. And after high school, I ended up moving here to Greensboro, North Carolina, and I started going to school at Greensboro College. That was where I was supposed to play football. And then my naive self and didn't understand the whole financial aid thing. I had a lot of money I had to cover on my own, and I was paying for school monthly. So I was paying about $1,200 a month just to go to school. So I had to start working. I mean, playing was not an option, unfortunately, and I didn't do my research on all that stuff. So that's when I really jumped into coaching. I knew I wanted to do that, and I started coaching at UNCG. They had a club team, and originally I was just hired to be like a quality control, like manager type guy. And through a couple of staff changes and those things, I ended up being the offense coordinator. And I was 18 years old, had no business calling an offense, but that's where I cut my teeth. And I really enjoyed that experience. It really, really made me love coaching football. You're building something from scratch, and I really had a great time, with that whole group. And I knew I wanted to get deeper into this. I wanted this to be my career, so I ended up kind of taking more of a full-time role at a high school at Bishop McGinnis in Kernersville, and that was with Drew Hackett for a year. I was a quarterbacks coach there, and that was a whole different experience. We had 23 kids total, to coach, and you really figure out how to coach in general with a team like that, because you don't have depth. You're just playing with what you got, and some kids who really aren't offensive linemen are playing offensive line, and kids who aren't receivers are playing a receiver, and it's just how it was. And it really pushed me to get better at coaching football. And then I got the opportunity to go to Southeast Guilford to work for Kennedy Tinsley. I was the quarterbacks coach there for 2 years. We were fortunate enough in our first year to go to the state championship game. We ended up losing to Weddington. And then the second year, we went deep in the playoffs. I think it was the third round, and we ended up getting popped out by Grace Creek, and that led us to Mallet Creek. And, Coach Tinsley got the job at Mallet Creek, and we spent 3 seasons together through COVID and 2 more. And I started as the wide receivers coach and JV offense coordinator. The next year, I was the JV head coach and receivers coach again, and then the third year, I was the offense coordinator and the quarterbacks coach. And I say this all the time: I wouldn't be in this chair right now if it wasn't for those opportunities that I got. I like to think I worked my butt off for those opportunities. I like to think that I lived the way that I was brought up. Blue collar, get after it. Put the hours in, and I think that's why I'm here. And I got hired here in December, and I've been rolling ever since. And I'm really appreciative of all the opportunities and all the people that I've been around to be able to have this new opportunity.
Hey, you were one of the first, guys hired in this new cycle, I believe, with it being so early. But what's something that I just talked to Tim Bagamary at Eastern Guilford, and so you and him are the only 2 guys so far that are new head coaches I'm talking to. So what is something you didn't expect? They say you're never prepared to be a head coach, but what was something that you didn't expect that you're having to do or deal with or something like that? What's something that's kind of throwing you for a loop?
You know, I get this question a lot, and I feel like every time I answer this question, it's something different.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is, you know, I came from Mountain Creek where those kids played football. They loved football with every fiber of their being, and that's what they do. You know, here it's a little different. Like our kids here are awesome, but they do so many other different things, and that's been a challenge for me. How to deal with that? Like, what's the best way to serve them, but also stay true to what I believe in and what I know needs to happen for us to be a good football program. You know, I would think that's probably my biggest thing that I'm trying to learn right now. Because I know in the way that I've been brought up and the way that I've been taught, you got to put the hours in, you got to put the time in if you want to be like a really good football program, you know. And we're not just trying to win football games. We're trying to do, you know, we're trying to win football games and build great people all at the same time. And the only way to do that is by being together. And I've had to learn to be a little more flexible and find different ways to serve our kids in different ways, so that we can, one, be successful and they have a great experience on top of that, and they still get to do the things they want to do outside of football.
Yeah. So, talking a little bit about your coaching philosophy, you know, being you know, everybody, you know, coming through being an assistant, you know, coordinator, you have kind of like some things you like, you don't like, you pick up from mentors you've had, but now you're the guy. So what are you trying to stand on as a coach? What do you want RJ Reynolds as a football program to be known for? Do you have an acronym or whatever your core values are? What are those things?
Yeah. So we go by Earn It. Earn It's an acronym for us, and you know, it's the way that I've been brought up in life. You know, you don't get anything handed to you. Yeah. And if we want to change things around here at RJ Reynolds, we got to fight for it. We got to earn it every day. Every time we come up in here, we got work to do. We got to get something accomplished. So that E stands for effort. If nothing else, we're going to be a program. When you flip the film on, every opponent's going to know that we're going to come with our best effort every day. Yeah. You know, and that's effort in everything that we do. We go to the classroom, we go to the weight room, we go to practice. You go out in the community, you got a job, you got to bring your best effort every day. I don't believe in. I believe in leaving things better than you found it, and that, I think that takes a great load of effort. And then, you know, the A, that stands for attitude. There's two things that you can control in your life: effort, and then your attitude. If you have a great attitude about wanting to get better, about you know, accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish, you're going to be a pretty decent person. You're going to be a pretty decent football player. You're going to be a pretty decent student. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Whatever it is, with those two things, man, you're going to be pretty successful. So to me, those are the first two things our program is based on altogether. The R is respect for the process. We are very much so going to be a process-oriented team. We have goals in mind and things that we want to accomplish. But if we spend all the time worrying about the results and not how to achieve those results, we're never going to take the right step in the direction we want to go. Not where we are as a program right now. We have to really focus on what it takes from an day-to-day basis on how to succeed at our goals. And it's the way that we go about our day. You know, what you repeatedly do is who you are. You know, so we want our guys to go to class and be the best student that they can be. We want them to go in the weight room and you know, stack the weight as much as they can and get after it. And we want them to take care of business on the football field as well. You know, and when things go wrong in that process, all right, we just need to, you know, be able to reset. You know, that's the biggest thing. Because there's going to be things that go wrong, and right now we're struggling with the next play mentality. You know, when things go wrong in practice, whatever side of the ball's struggling right now, start to shut down a little bit. You know, and we need to get better at that part of the process. You know, when things aren't really going our way. And then lastly, we never give up. You know, we never ever want to give up. We're going to respect all of our opponents, but we're not stricken in fear against anybody. We can't. So we got to be a team that plays with great effort. We got to bring a great attitude to what we're doing every day. We got to respect the process and make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And then we can't give up when things go wrong, no matter what, because we're all we got. And if we give up, we're screwed.
Yeah. So, and being the first time head coach, you have created for yourself a really good staff. Like you have two former head coaches as your coordinators, Patrick Taylor on offense and Wayne Griffin on defense. Talk about like the support of them. You kind of can manage it, but you have guys that have been there, done that are helping you along the way.
Yeah. I think, it's funny, Coach Taylor's our assistant head coach.
Yeah.
And he was my first hire.
Yeah.
And he came in quickly and made an impact because a lot of times he was my sounding board, because, one of my other coaches who was here, he was tied up with another sport. And then, I didn't hire another guy in the building for a little while. So really Coach Taylor and I were the only two here for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And then Coach Griffin, both of those guys have done such a great job in supporting my vision. And supporting me, and they always make sure to tell me, man, it is your program. We're here to do whatever you need us to do, and they do a great job of policing the staff as well. And we haven't had any problems, but they do a great job saying, hey, this is what Coach Davidyock wants to do, and these are the things we need to accomplish because that's the vision.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative of that. That makes me sleep well at night because they support what I believe in. And I think that's so important. And they are a great sounding board for a guy that's, learning how to be a head coach, learning how to lead a group of men that, really are older than me, they've been there and done that, like you said. So they've been great. And my whole staff has done a great job. My stepfather passed away about, a couple weeks ago. And when I was gone, man, they were rolling. I didn't have to worry about a thing, And I'm really appreciative of that because I don't think if I had them that it would be going as smooth as it's been going.
Yeah. So talking about spring ball, how did that go? How many days did you go? What did you like? And then rolling into the summer, what is your overview thought of how RJ Reynolds is going into the summer as a program?
Yeah, spring ball was great. We averaged about between 50 and 60 kids, and it was good. It was a kind of new because I'm so used to having so many kids out there just by default. In Mallet Creek we had 180 kids come out in the summer. But it was good. It was wholesome. It was pure high school football to me.
Yeah.
They did a great job. I think the effort was there. I think the positivity, the right energy was there. And they wanted to get coached. And one of the kids made a comment like this, everybody's getting coached on the field right now. Everybody's getting an opportunity to do something and show what they got, whether they're a good football player or not so good. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, everybody got an opportunity. We got to evaluate everybody and on both sides of the ball and really figure out what they were capable of. Going into the summer, we got a lot of work to do, but I think what's going to help us is we got to go straight to fundamentals. We got to be really, really intentional with every minute of our time that we're together. And we've got the next 2 weeks, planned out already of what we want to do. And we talk about it, every day. How can we make this next chunk of time in this period better? Is there something we can focus on, I think if we focus on the fundamentals and we give them, practices that match game-like situations as much as possible, these kids will definitely pick up on it a lot faster than I initially thought. Because they're so good about wanting to get coached. There's not a lot of kids that fight against that right now. Because I think they are hungry. And we're expecting a lot more kids this summer. My goal as a program, I hope we can hit 90. That's my goal. And I think we can get really close, if not hit it. from what I'm hearing. And I'm getting more kids every day that come up to me in the hallways. Coach, I think I really want to come out and play football this year. Great. Come on, let's get you set up, you know. We're trying to galvanize relationships within the building for more than just playing. You know, we got student managers. I got like 8 managers that want to come help out. Let's go. You know, I got one manager that's bringing one football player with her. You know, like if he's playing football, you could be my manager. That's fine. You know, like, so we're trying to do that. And I'm really excited about this summer. I think we're going to have a great time. And this is the time to really build a community and a family together to kind of carry us through these next 3.5 months when we hit fall.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't keep up with Coach or the program, you can see on social media like y'all are doing a lot. Like y'all have a camp coming up. Like y'all have graphics coming out. Y'all talking about you introduced your coaches, stuff like that. Like y'all are trying to like build this thing up. And I don't want to call it hype because I feel like that kind of is like a overblown type thing. But y'all are trying to get your own hype going, and I love it because y'all play a tough conference and. Obviously, everybody knows that, and I know you don't make an excuse for that. But so you got to try and get this thing going. And from what I see on the outside, it looks great. Like y'all are rolling along, and I love to see it. But kind of being at 4A, you're the biggest. You're right now the one coach that's been at the biggest high school right now I've interviewed. So being at a 4A. Talk about a couple of guys that maybe aren't being highlighted. Some guys that have been grinding all off season, weight room, out in the field. Highlight some guys, that have just kind of embraced what you're trying to, sell and build there. RJ Reynolds.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. I don't think enough of our guys are being highlighted. Yeah. I don't think RJ Reynolds gets enough exposure, and I think we're an afterthought in this area. And that's my job to change that. That's my job to fight for those kids. And so I'll throw that out there. But I think one of the guys that I've been absolutely impressed with is Joe Crowley. He's the son of the former coach, and he had an outstanding spring. And he's doing it with a change in position and 2 different systems, one on offense, one on defense, and he had a knockout spring. I mean, he did a great job. And we found out that dude can play. And he's been a great leader as a rising junior. He can lead. And we're going to need more of that from him if we're going to be successful on either side of the ball. Another guy who's a rising junior is Mac Murphy, a guy who played receiver and safety. We moved him from safety to play a little bit of D-end because he's so big, and he's embraced that. He kind of looked at me weird when I threw it at him, but our D-line coach looked at him, I looked at him, our defense coordinator looked at him, and we were like, that might be his home, Yeah. We got some other ideas for him too, and then he was playing tight end, and he came to me and said, we need Joe and myself on the field at the same time, coach, so I can play outside. And we moved him out there just because I wanted to empower that. Hey, man, you got a good idea, let's try it.
Yeah.
If we didn't explode more offensively that next practice because he was outside, Joe was inside, man, I'd be crazy. So he had a great spring. And then, I'm really proud of Mario McClure has come back and from Glenn to be a quarterback in our system, and he did a great job through the end of the spring. He made some huge throws and did a great job there. Tommy Elrod, who's was a freshman last year, quarterback, and has had to take a lot more reps than he expected, and he's done a terrific job. He asked the right questions. He wants to know the system in and out, and he's been a good leader. And he's checked all the boxes from an academic standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from a weight room standpoint. He's done a really good job there. And I think Caden Shuford is another one that doesn't get talked about enough. He's played right tackle for us, and then one day we were inside run, and he's at right tackle, and we're not getting the snap done. And he pulled the center out. He went to center and started making the calls and hit 5 snaps right in a row at the chest of the quarterback. And I was like, "Sheesh! Like if we can get that, I mean, man, we're rolling."
Yeah.
He's done a great job. And then lastly, I think Case Wright has had a great spring. We thought he was a defensive only guy. He's playing nickel Sam, And then all of a sudden we put him at receiver, and he had some big time catches for our offense all spring. I didn't think he could play offense. I was like, this dude ain't gonna play offense, and he proved me wrong. He's making it hard for me not to play him. So I've really enjoyed those guys and the work that they put in. And there's so many stories I could tell you and so many kids, but those guys have done a great job this spring, and I'm really excited to see what the summer looks like for them.
Heck yeah. Well, Coach, I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate you talking to me and kind of letting us learn a little bit more about you and a little insight into RJ Reynolds. I consider us good friends, and I'm going to, as I say this at every single one, I have after every game, I look at score stream and I look at all the games, and y'all are definitely saved on my favorites. So y'all be up there on one of the first ones, and I'll be rooting for y'all because we don't play each other. So I'll be rooting for y'all to win every game and tear up that 4A conference because I can say this is my show. Screw all the rest of those teams. So, but I appreciate you coming on and talking to me a little bit.
I appreciate you, big dog, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing a great job with all your content. I've enjoyed watching it all, so I appreciate you.
Heck yeah, I appreciate you, Coach.
All right, big dog.
Yeah, everything around me.